If you haven't heard about the Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. The Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special bonus episode of You Know What the Title it is. Gotta Have Heart Wrestling by your truly Jamal Holness. And today I want to talk about another cool No Way Out event. I think this is probably by far one of my favorite ones, besides the No Way Out 2001. But this one had a pretty good, show. I mean, this is probably, I think, the only No Way Out event that take place out of the United States. It actually took place in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I think this will be WWE's first pay-per-view event for the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada since the 1997 Survivor Series, which we saw, I guess, as you all know, the Brett screwed Brett, So, yeah, this is pretty fitting for WWE to come back here for this such a good event. We've had, main events like Triple H versus Scott Steiner for World Championship. We had Edge, Chris Benoit, and Brock Lesnar, which I think that's a remarkable team. That's an unbelievable team right there. Facing off to Shawn Benjamin, Charlie Haas, and the WWE Champion Kurt Angle six-man tag team match. And then you see, The Rock and Hogan Part 2 coming off the match WrestleMania 18. Do it again here. And the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin face off against Raw's Eric Bischoff by order of Mr. Man himself. This would be a pretty decent No Way Out event if you really think about it. Both is this pay-per-view event was hosted by both brands, Raw and SmackDown, and will take place on February the 23rd, 2003, with 15,100 fans in attendance. So a pretty big event for a pretty good, decent amount of fans here. And like I said, it's a pretty good event. I enjoyed it. Just seeing it here. So yeah, you know. Alrighty. And we had one match on the Sunday Night Heat before this match. We saw Rey Mysterio defeated Jamie Noble in 4 minutes and 35 seconds here. Rey Mysterio still relatively in his rookie year in the WWE here. I'm always impressed with the fans' amazement, already being a former WWE Tag Team Champion. His performance in Royal Rumble was not too good, but it was okay for starters. Casino was a special Royal Rumble. Jamie Noble, already former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, losing that title to Billy Kidman at the 2002 Survivor Series and Madison Square Garden here. And yeah, his relationship with Nydia, who was also former Tough Enough winner and Tough Enough 2, I think, season 2. So yeah, it's pretty amazing to see what these athletes would do here, as far as the cruiserweight style match goes. All right, we kick off the No Way Out event with Chris Jericho going one-on-one against Jeff Hardy here. As you know, at the time, Chris Jericho had his rivalry going on Shawn Michaels, screwed Shawn Michaels at the World Rumble matchup by being the second entry and then eliminated Shawn Michaels, who was the first entry here. And Chris Jericho really wanted to prove a point that he was better than the Heartbreak Kid. And by going after his protege, Jeff Hardy at the time, who was dealing with some issues, lingering issues in real life. I guess you fans know about the drug and alcohol abuse. So, yeah, the winner started Jeff Hardy's WWE career by being a protege to his mentor, Shawn Michaels at the time, So, yeah, this would be a good step up for Jeff Hardy if he were to defeat Chris Jericho in this event. He did come close on several occasions, but he would tap out to the Walls of Jericho here and in 12 minutes and 59 seconds. But the crazy thing about it is this. Okay, first time WWE being live here from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, from the SSL Survivor Series 6 years prior. At this matchup, you see Shawn Michaels coming out here and running to the ring. I'm thinking the whole crowd's gonna boo the shit out of Shawn Michaels because he was a part of the Brett screwed Brett thing in the WWE Championship main event at the 1997 Survivor Series. But he came out to decent boos and cheers. I'm surprised nobody chanted, you screwed Brett, you screwed Brett. So I was pretty surprising in that way. But, him coming out there is to save, Jeff Hardy from being in the Walls of Jericho for too long and chasing on Chris Jericho. So it was actually a pretty good appearance to see Shawn Michaels at this event, So, yeah, pretty good matchup between overall and Chris Jericho. I've always been a both Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy fan. No matter what these two guys have done, amazing careers for these two guys. And You know, Jeff Hardy is still wrestling WWE today. Chris Jericho over in AEW, recently former AEW champion, from last year. So these two guys definitely pretty toward the house on his opening matchup here. All right, next up, we got the World Tag Team Champions on the line for Monday Night Raw. Lance Storm and Winrigo defending against Kane and Randan. I'm thinking, how the hell did I'm sorry, Kane, Lance Storm and Winrigo get the tag champions back? And they lost to the Dudleys here at the War of Town 3 in Boston. Well, thing is that, Chief Morley being the chief sergeant of Monday Night Raw, I guess whatever the title was, to Eric Bischoff being the Raw GM, they won the championship, lose it just a week prior, before No Way Out event, thanks to Chief Morley. Lance Storm were becoming two-time tag team champions here, but before the defending against Stone Contenders Kane and RVD at this event. Pretty good matchup back and forth here, but some dirty tactics here by William and Lance Storm led them to retain the tag team championships in 9 minutes 20 seconds. Here's the thing. Me being part Canadian, I gotta appreciate the WWE for throwing these guys together, Lance Storm and Wade Ringo. Two great technical wrestlers. Lance Storm had an amazing career in the WCW. And also Ringo did too, also known for more work in WWE since 1998. So, to get you guys together as the un-Americans that hate America, anything that stands for America, and, that's the last thing you want to hear as an American wrestling fan as well. And I gotta admit, I gotta give credit's due here because their Dirty Styles as a heel tag team led them to be one of those great tag teams. The forgotten tag teams, but also in my mind one of the great tag teams here. And then you fight against Kane and Van Dam. I'm thinking this is kind of a strange bedfellow kind of thing. You don't really see nothing in common between Kane and Van Dam, so it's kind of weird pairing, but they made it work for the most part. They were tag team champions later on throughout the year in '03, so it's not too bad. I'm always a huge Robin Dam fan. I don't care what to say. Robin D is old, but he's still in my mind one of the greatest wrestlers to at least been the champion one time. So it's still pretty badass. It really was. So. Yeah, but good try by Kane and Van Dam here. Miscommunication. Kane accidentally chokeslammed his partner, and then led for Storm and Regal to retain the tag champs here. So miscommunication on their part. So I guess that's where this strange bedfellows come into place. So yeah. Next up, we got Cruiserweight Championship match from SmackDown. Featuring Matt Hardy challenging Billy Kidman for the WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Unbelievable stuff for Billy Kidman. This guy comes in from the invasion, right? Loses the invasion, according to Survivor Series. Gets hired by WWE at the beginning of 2002 here, comes in, throughout the entire year, with 5 Championship, defeats Jamie Noble in his first Survivor Series, and his first time being Madison Square Garden here. I love Billy Kidman. I got all the praise and work for Billy Kidman because he's been an unbelievable WCW Cruiserweight Champion in his WCW tenure. So it's amazing. And he can fight, Matt Hardy, which being one half of Hardy was one of the well-renowned tag teams ever in WWE's history, or even in TNA wrestling itself, throughout the later years. But Matt Hardy had to lose some weight. If you didn't know about this, Matt Hardy had to lose some weight to get into his matchup here to even challenge or be a contender in contention for the Cruiserweight Championship itself. So, how do you do that? You work your ass off, you exercise, and that's what Matt Hardy did. Thanks to training by his Madison follower, Shannon Moore, he would defeat Billy Kidman in 9 minutes 31 seconds to become the new Cruiserweight Champion. Unbelievable. Matt Hardy was actually Cruiserweight Champion. I don't know if people remember that or forgot about it, but yeah, Matt Hardy can say he was actually Cruiserweight Champion in WWE in his career. It's unbelievable as it sounds, but it is. And you gotta love the character. Mattitude version 1. I mean, this is gotta be one of the greatest things Matt Hardy's ever done in his career. Other than the deletion or Woken, you gotta admit, version 1 was actually one of my favorite Matt Hardy characters. I loved it. He was annoying as hell, but he really just went out there and just did his own thing and rolled with it. Like be wonder, that was pretty sick. I loved it. I kind of missed the Magnitude, man. I wish we bring that back just one time, you know. But yeah, Matt Hardy being the Cruiserweight champion, so pretty amazing. All right, up next we got more action on SmackDown here. The Undertaker tries to seek revenge on the Big Show in this one-on-one match here for trying to end his career. Back in October 2002. Undertaker coming off the probably one of the best House of matches from the 2002 Nebraska pay-per-view event with him and Lesnar for the WWE Championship. So, he coming off here, Undertaker, getting appreciated by the fans. Next SmackDown after No Mercy 2002, Big Show comes out here, bangs on the Undertaker, those going to take off the stage about 10, 15 feet down there, and it's pretty amazing, like how this would come to be. Undertaker makes a return at the Warren. Well, not only at the Warren, but anywhere in a match to be number 30, and it's pretty amazing. Undertaker almost won the Rumble, but kind of showed by being eliminated by Lesnar, who Lesnar won that Rumble in Boston to go to WrestleMania to challenge for the W Championship. But Undertaker, told Brock Lesnar, yeah, congratulations, you're the man. You got me twice. Hell in a Cell Rumble, so. Big Show wanted to seek revenge. Leading up to this event, we saw packages from like Spanky, who was known as Brian Kendrick, if you guys didn't know that. Paul was sending with a puppy, a song from Chris Canyon, the late great Chris Canyon, God rest his soul. And SmackDown before, no, I guess Ambush on the Big Show. All Undertaker wanted to do was just get revenge on Big Show. It had this new saying, this new quota, and that's "shut up and fight," which I actually live by that. It's a pretty cool phrase. That's one of the things I'm gonna remember about the Undertaker as the American Badass or Big Evil during this era in WWE. So, Flying gets revenge here at No Way Out, and it's pretty badass match. You see Undertaker just trying everything he can, even though he has a bad back. And it's crazy. He couldn't really do the tombstone or the last ride, or even chokeslam that requires lifting up a 500-pound Big Show. Adrian tried to defend his matchup here. The Undertaker goes flying over the top rope with a signature, flying clothesline maneuver over the top rope to the outside, taking on both Heyman and A-Train here. Big Show goes for chokeslam, attempts for the pinfall cover. Undertaker actually pulls out a triangle choke and chokes out the Big Show, gets the win in 14 minutes and 8 seconds. I believe this was the first time ever Undertaker had used a submission hold on a big time pay-per-view matchup to choke out his opponent. It's pretty crazy. I actually liked it. It was something different, coming from The Undertaker. One of my favorite superstars, as I expressed over time and time again. You know, but he wanted to make Big Show pay more. Try to get the steel chair, turns around, and gets planted with that huge A-Train bomb by A-Train. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Undertaker's, at least he got revenge here, but being not enough. Now he has to deal with A-Train in the weeks leading to WrestleMania in 18. So, but it was surprising. I think they actually win a pay-per-view match with a submission on. This is pretty cool about this event. So I actually enjoyed it. So yeah, really good match on this card. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here. More SmackDown action as actually, before I even get to this matchup here, we found backstage before even the Undertaker Big Show match. Edge is taking out backstage. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with Team Angle there and the ambush plans on Edge. So it's definitely been announced that the match will now be a handicap match featuring Brock Lesnar and Chris Benoit taking on Team Angle himself. The match will be right next here. And I gotta admit, Team Angle, Shawn Michaels, Charles House, along with Kurt Angle, did work well in the matchup against Chris Benoit and Brock Lesnar. So it's pretty fairly decent matchup here. But Chris Benoit making Angle tap out to the crippler crossface will get the win in 13 minutes and 9 seconds here. And this will show that Brock Lesnar is ready for WrestleMania to face Kurt Angle and attempt to take the WWE Championship. So pretty good matchup here. I gotta admit the team of Angle, I mean not Angle, but Benoit and Lesnar is actually pretty badass. I mean, hell, you got the Crippler Crossface, you got the next big thing. So even though I think this is probably the only time these two have teamed up, but first time ever, they made it work. They really did. So I was actually appreciative of this matchup in its entirety. So not bad though. Definitely not bad for a first time ever match. So yeah. All right, next up, we got Triple H defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. As you know, Scott Steiner came to WWE, made his debut at the Survivor Series Talent 2, showed up on Raw after Armageddon. Triple H regaining the championship from Shawn Michaels in that 3 Stitches at Home match, which I got to talk about that match on another time because that was an unbelievable match as well. Davies next night, originally announced he is signed to the Monday Night Raw brand by Eric Bischoff here, saying that per contract, per his new contract, he will receive a title shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Being the new champion, that's what Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump was coming after. That match made official with a Royal Rumble matchup for Royal Rumble pay-per-view in Boston. Of course, these two fought really good matchup here. Triple H had to cheat some dirty tactics to retain the championship, beat disqualification. But unfinished business that Scott Steiner will attempt to get one more title shot at No Way Out just to prove that he can beat Triple H for the World Championship. Well, due to the interference of all the Evolution, Ric Flair, Batista, the newly appointed Evolution from the February 3rd episode of Monday Night Raw, Batista, Randy Orton, and Ric Flair do everything they can to distract Scott Steiner in any way possible, even distracting the referee, for Triple H to hit Scott Steiner with the sledgehammer and the pedigree to get the 1-2-3, retaining his championship in 13 minutes and 1 second. That's the thing. When Triple H was the world champion at Raw for, I think, probably this is the first out of, or second time, his second as world champion on the Eminent Raw brand. Ever since World Championship was brought in by Eric Bischoff in '02. So Triple H was, that champion that played as a good heel, but made you want to hate him just because he did so much dirty tactics to retain the championship each and every time he defended it. But you got to really applaud Evolution there for helping Triple H. I think at that moment, that first time we see Batista, Orton, and Flair helping the game retain the championship, you really thought to yourself, this is how the rest of the year is going to be, or Triple H's tenure on that Raw is going to be, you know, for Triple H to be that heel dominant champion. It's like, go back to Jeff Jarrett's tenure in TNA Wrestling. 3 time, 4 time, 5. Jeff Jarrett had the Team Canada on the team. He had the AWA, America's Most Wanted, the AMW. Jeff Jarrett had all these guys watching his back here to help him retain the NWA World Championship at the time, and that's how Triple H was, this time. So it was a pretty smart plan. You can't really like the guy at the time, but you gotta admit Triple H is probably one of the smartest wrestlers to have those guys helping him watch his back. So it's pretty amazing to see what Dean here, from all these guys. So pretty good a match for both here. I gotta probably rate this match maybe a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was pretty decent, because I'm always a Scott Steiner fan as well. Who was Scott Steiner, former WCW champion. So pretty good matchup though overall. All right, next up we got action from Monday Night Raw here. Eric Bischoff facing the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin here. And let's just say that per Mr. order, by having nobody interfere in this matchup, not even one single member of the Raw roster, and it being, one on one, and Vince McMahon says everybody interfered, that they will be fired on the spot. Pretty good move there. So pretty much all of Eric Bischoff's bag of tricks will be tossed out the window, basically. So yeah, this is gonna be one aspect that Eric Bischoff's not ever gonna forget. For the week leading up to this event, I mean, Vince McMahon wanted Eric Bischoff to shake things up. He gave him 30 days to do it. Luckily, by JR having bought in by Steve Austin, the official announced that Steve Austin will be on No Way Out. At first everybody was fired, but at the same time he was pretty high on the same episode of Raw. And that's what we got here to No Way Out. Alright, Gary Shaw coming out here for us, pleading with the fans that they don't want to see the matchup. You had the glass shatters in the background. Stone Cold Steve Austin has arrived in Montreal, Quebec, Canada to open a 100% can of pure whip ass. He gets it. 3 stunners on Eric Bischoff to get the 1-2-3 in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Pretty good 5 minutes of ass kicking right there. So, asking that Eric Bischoff did deserve. Mind you, he did beat up JR on the Monday Night Raw previously, so be pretty good here. So, yeah, I'm glad that Eric Bischoff finally got what he deserved from this event. So, Steve Austin coming back as strong as ever, so really badass. All right, we got the main event here. The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan Part 2 in the main event here. This is pretty surreal because you have The Rock, who had just come out fresh from Hollywood, not getting the respect he deserves from the fans here, also instantly turning heel here. I was annoyed about this Rock, but I actually like this kind of Rock just because you really see this Rock as a good guy. He's always been called People's Champion, the great sports entertainer. But him to be a bad guy, being annoying and being booed by the fans, this is pretty crazy here. Especially since you have the newly signed contract for Hulk Hogan being brought in by Mr. Man on SmackDown, but Mr. Man claiming that he made Hulk Hogan, but Hulk claims that he was made by the fans, which I definitely believe that's true here. So it's pretty crazy. You know, Originally Hulk Hogan wanted to face Mr. Man at No Way Out, but Mr. Man said, no, you're going to get The Rock. So that's what getting us here to tonight. Yeah, coming off their WrestleMania 18 match was probably one of the best wrestling matches, period. So Rockland said, no problem, I'll kick Hogan's ass again. We get hit No Way Out here. Pretty good matchup. Dominated by The Rock back and forth here. This is where things got a little tricky. Because I've seen the thing, every time WWE goes in Canada, whatever city was Montreal, Winnipeg or even Toronto itself, something really unusually bad happens. In this case, this will be another notch on the list of bad things that happened that will be in the country of Canada. Hogan gets the leg drop. He's going for 1, 2, 3. The lights turn out instantly. They come back on within a minute or so. Mr. Man walking on stage, referee's down, the chair in the ring, the Rock is down. Hogan's the only one standing. Here, Mr. Hogan's trying to figure out what's going on, thinking that Mr. Man turned the lights. We see that quick referee, who we now know be a WWE signed superstar, Sylvain Ronier, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, who was also a paid referee by Mr. Man in his back pocket. Rock hits with the steel chair, but it's slipped by the referee, who would think is knocked out, but he's not really knocked out. He's just playing like he's knocked out. And Rock hits drop on him on Hogan to get the 1, 2, 3 in 12 minutes 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure the fans are going to represent that McMahon screwed Hogan, you know. And then the assault injury here, Hulk Hogan laying down bleeding in the ring, and Mr. Man just mocking him with his signature pose and all that. And I kind of didn't like it, Not a good ending, not a good happy ending to at least the fans there in Montreal that's big Hogan supporters, Hulk maniacs, me be one of them. So it's kind of disappointing to see Hogan lose to The Rock again, especially since the last time these two fought each other. So yeah, kind of sucks, And Miss Man just posing up on the stage to close the show here. And I'm pretty sure you knew that, I'll come out this event, there's definitely gonna be Hogan versus McMahon at WrestleMania. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. I gotta admit, this is probably one of those controversial no one else that you've seen. You think in 2000, McFly being retired, Challenge 3 has to be up there. So yeah, it's pretty badass here for this event to happen. Oh man. But like I said, we got the Royal Rumble next Sunday. Can't wait. 7 days away from the 2021 Royal Rumble. I'm excited. I can't wait. We're gonna see what happens here in the men's Royal Rumble match and the women's Royal Rumble match up here. Catch it on WWE Network live 7 p.m. 4 Eastern, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on WWE Network. I'm Jamel. You have a good day, and we'll see you next week at the Royal Rumble 2021 in the Thunderdome. Good night, everybody.